In this episode, Wombi jumps on the bus and heads back down to Brisbane, and I take the boat from Roslyn Bay to Pearl Bay. Well, the last cup of coffee made with shore power for a while. I'm going to disconnect the shore power now and we'll headed north. Don't know where we'll get to today. Maybe Pearl Bay, maybe a bit further up. Pretty pleasant looking day, it's very calm. A bit overcast, so probably burn off. But yeah, it's calm. We'll probably have to wait for the wind to do any motor sailing. Anyhow, get out of this marina. Great. Always good to get out and get a little bit of swell under the boat. Get tidied up here and we'll be right. We can sit back and enjoy the trip. 5 hours we'll be at Cape Manifold. This is Cape Manifold in front of us. It was named by Captain Cook, who sailed past 250 years ago and noticed that the cape had many folds. So that's where Cape Manifold got its name. A bit further up and you can see the entrance to Port Clinton. We were going to head to Pearl Bay, but I'm in no hurry. We might sneak into Port Clinton for the night and head up to Pearl Bay tomorrow. Haven't caught a fish. It's a pretty grey, overcast day and there's no wind, very light wind. Not really worth getting any sail out, so we might just head up to Port Clinton and spend the night there. At last, a bit of sun just as we enter Port Clinton. We'll head in here for the night and get going tomorrow morning. There's a lot of fog around this morning, but it's a bit of a light northerly got up and it's blown it most of it away, so we're about ready to up anchor and head up to Pearl Bay. It was a beautiful night here, very calm. Keeping a good lookout this morning, a bit foggy. Had a really quiet night in Port Clinton and we're just doing 2 or 3 hour skip up the coast to Pearl Bay. Beautiful spot up there. Won't see much in this fog, but I think it'll lift by the time we get there. Starting to break up a bit now, I think. Well, the first job after a dewy morning is to dry the boat off. Gives it a bit of a clean up with some fresh water, which is always good. Last night lots of little insects got stuck in the dew and they make a pretty big mess if you don't just mop it off. How good is this? Pearl Bay. Dead flat. It's a beautiful spot. I'm going to put the dinghy in the water in a moment and go for a walk on the beach. Fantastic. So this is part of the military zone in Shoalwater Bay, and you're not really allowed to go off the beach. But it's good because it really makes it pristine. It's pretty hard to get here. Unfortunately, some whackers come here, bring rubbish in and leave it here. These guys are obviously fishermen and they should be hung. Fancy coming into a very special place like this and leaving all your rubbish behind. No excuse for it, or to be whipped. Well, how lucky are we to live in Queensland? Places like this make me ponder. Beautiful beach, crystal clear water, magnificent scenery, Pearl Bay. Doesn't get much better, and we've got thousands of nautical miles of coastline to explore just like this. Spare a foot for poor buggers down in Victoria. All they've got is rain, cold and coronavirus. Must be bloody shocking. Anyhow, we'll explore a few more places like this on the way up the coast. Well, there's a few dolphins out playing in front of the boat this morning. It's going to be a leisurely trip. We left Pearl Bay at about 7 o'clock and we're heading north, maybe to Strong Tide Passage. I don't think the tide's going to be right for us to go through there. It runs through it pretty quickly. So we might go up to Supply Bay and stay there the night. I'm trying to just do little trips and have good fun. There's plenty of little islands to visit up here. So we'll have a bit of a poke around. We've logged on with Coast Guard Thirsty Sound and they'll keep track of us as we head up. I've got the sail out, and of course as soon as I did that the wind died, so it's not really doing much at all, but we'll leave it hanging there and just being a nuisance at the moment really, but we'll leave it up and see if we get a bit of wind down the track to give us a hand up there. Very nice day though. The dolphins lasted about as long as the wind did. It's the entrance to Island Head Creek. There's 5 or 6 boats in there, I'd say. It's got a little anchorage. We're not going to visit today though. Go a bit further up. So it's all about doing it comfortably. I was going to head a bit further up into Supply Bay, but there's supposed to be a bit of northerly coming this afternoon and I don't want to deal with that. So we're going to head through Strong Tide Passage. The tide's pretty right. It floods through here and ebbs back out. So it was low tide about an hour ago, so we'll be able to ride the tide up in through Strong Tide Passage. And the name says it all. It really is a strong tide. It flows at about 5 knots. So you really need the tide with you to navigate through here. A few little dangers on the way in. We've got to get around them, and then I'm going to go up to a little island in there called Triangular Island, and that's where we'll anchor for the night. But that'll be great. It'll get us out of any sort of weather really, but definitely out of the northerlies. So we've got about 45 minutes before I get to the entrance. I'll drop the sail. Then we'll make our way up through Strong Tide Passage. Really starting to pick up speed now as we enter the passage with the tide behind us. A few rocks to worry about as we head in here, but once we get past this section, not too bad. I just went to take some drone footage at Triangle Island, and I got a message, critically low voltage. It was still showing full batteries. I only charged them yesterday, so I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I'm having awful trouble with this drone. It sort of has a bit of a mind of its own. I only just got it to the beach and landed it. I hope it's still there. I've got to put the dinghy in the water and go and have a look. It's a bit lucky it's high tide and I can get to the beach. Well, I think I can see it. I don't know if it's still running, but yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I think I'm going to have to upgrade to something that's a bit more reliable. I'm never sure when this thing takes off whether I'm ever going to get it back. Critically low battery, still nearly full. At least it lives to fly another day, but I'm going to lose it, I know that, because it just sort of takes off and does its own thing every now and then. Lucky. I just flew the drone again and all worked perfectly, not very far from home. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe since I've put the new anchor windlass on, there's a lot more magnetic interference up the front there. So maybe when I set it up, I'm going to have to go out onto the aft deck and get everything initialised down there. We'll see what happens. It still worries me though. I think it's got a bit of a mind of its own sometimes. Anyhow, we'll see what happens. Still got the drone anyway. I was pretty lucky that time. It could have landed in the water. It was just said it was critically short of batteries, which it wasn't, and it just wanted to land, and I was lucky to be able to fly it onto the beach.